A few days ago, Anime Showdown finally did their public release, launching with a huge cast of characters compared to what they had in the alpha. And of course, my first thought is, let's draw comparisons to ABA, right? Anime Battle Arena. It's one of the more notorious games of this genre, which for those of you who don't know by now, this genre generally consists of you just picking a character from a roster, going into a map and fighting other players, doing the same thing, generally for points from killing each other. There's no upgrades you can make to these characters apart from just buying new characters and improving your own personal skill. For the sake of this video, we can call this genre arena fighting. With that being said, let's just compare these two games. So starting with visuals, right? With what we can immediately see from both of these games. This category is going to be in heavy favor of Anime Showdown because ABA is an older game by about 4 years. And it shows, because why does the UI look like this? Look at what they did to Sasuke. This is diabolical. Now, in this short clip I took, you can see Super Vegeta using Final Flash, right? Alright, now I'm going to show you what that looks like in Anime Showdown.
I'm Super Vegeta!
So that kind of seems like an unfair comparison, but I think even at ABA's best, right? They're amazing, best cutscenes, they're amazing animation, right? Their VFX, they don't really scrape the bottom of Anime Showdown's barrel. I think their worst thing is probably better than the best ABA has to offer when it comes to how visually appealing it looks. Now, in regards to gameplay, admittingly, I've played Anime Showdown a lot more, so I might be glazing, but Anime Showdown generally feels better and is more responsive to play. To give you a little comparison of the base combat, here's ABA's fundamental mechanics they put on their game page. Now here's Anime Showdown. As you can see, the game is a bit more detailed than its base combat, but it does get a lot better once you add the actual character skills into the mix. Now, I've played both a pretty decent amount, and admittingly, ABA doesn't feel extremely different, right? They're the same genre of game, of course they're going to play similar, but the way the game reacts to certain moves, it feels pretty clunky in comparison. You can tell they could have done a better job scripting. Also, some things feel like they were just thrown into the game because they thought it would, be cool, without any consideration for balancing. Whenever I die to something in ABA, it doesn't ever feel like I made some sort of mistake, like it's my fault, and this is some sort of consequence because I didn't respond to a move correctly, I didn't block it or I didn't dodge it, and it was my fault. It just feels like there's something wrong with the game itself. It's like, alright, you've closed the distance between you and the person you want to fight, you landed the first hit, and they're in your combo now. That's true stun. But it doesn't matter because now you're just gonna fucking explode because some goober popped their ult across the map. At least when Anime Showdown makes a new character, you can tell balancing was in consideration, even though, they will miss that mark sometimes. Also, something that especially irks me is some of these characters have movesets where when your moves are used correctly, if you can land a single hit on someone and then execute that combo, it is 100 to 0. They will instantly die from that combo. That implies both there is no mechanic to escape a combo, as well as the moves do way too much damage. In any game, especially one made in an engine as clunky as Roblox, you should not be relying on a single tap from an M1 to secure an entire kill. I will say though, Anime Showdown, while there are some moves in Awakenings that do outright instantly kill someone if they land, they are not part of the base kits that they can use just freely. You have to build up a meter over the course of an entire game, and then once you transform, you can get one kill basically for free if you land that hit. If you whiff it, that's it. You don't really get it. But as far as combos go, in Anime Showdown, the damage is not high enough to kill you outright, and even if they were, you have an evasive meter, so if things get a little bit too crazy, you can get out of combos. I don't know though. Maybe I'm just bad at ABA, so I'm going to give you guys an opportunity. Alright, so ABA pros, right? Tell me in the comments, how do you skillfully play around this situation? I'm gonna move right along to progression, right? So, given the only real way to progress in these games, because there isn't really like a level system for your characters, it's more like progressing is buying characters. So I'm gonna go over how that feels in both games. So for every game of ABA you play, they give you like around 25 coins, from what I've seen. And there's daily quests that also reward you like 250 coins. So that helps with the progression a little bit. Some of these characters are really expensive though. Like Aizen and Pucci, for example, are 3,600, which seems to be the most expensive characters. It goes down from there, which is a little, kind of annoying and grindy. But then you have the prestige section, and I really don't know what's going on in here. All I know is they have the GOAT, Oma, right there, so maybe they have something good going on in here. Some characters are also locked behind game passes, which I really just think is an awful way to run your game. If you have players dedicated enough to grind out your game, they should be able to work hard enough to get any character they want. Now, whenever you finish a game of Anime Showdown, you're given cash, I believe, off of how well you performed during the match. For example, in this clip, I went a little bit crazy and I got like 500 coins, and that's without any sort of daily quest or anything. Then, in this clip, I didn't do so great and I still got like 300. To put that into perspective, right? My mid-game in Anime Showdown got me 300 coins. That is like the ABA equivalent of playing 12 rounds and just finishing the rounds. And they also offer daily quests in Anime Showdown too, and they give you pretty solid amounts. Like this one is like 600. Now, given Anime Showdown is way more generous with the amount of coins they give you, you'd think, okay, they give me a lot of coins, the characters are probably going to be a bit more expensive than Anime Battle Arena, right? They're not. They're actually, on average, cheaper. Because the Aizen and Pucci one are like 3,600. I think the most expensive one is like 3,400. And it goes down from there, which isn't much, but considering how much faster you get the money, it's kind of huge. So all the characters are super affordable, so you can build up and grab any character you want. Not to mention, there are characters that you do have to buy with a premium currency, right? But the main difference between this mechanic and ABA, right, is with ABA you have to spend that money if you want those characters. But Anime Showdown has codes from the developers to get that premium currency. You can get all of those characters for free. I did the same thing. I did not spend a dime on this game, apart from the alpha access. Alright, now let's go over the development of both of these games over the course of their time, right? So in terms of development, ABA updates pretty slowly. After 4 years of development, they're on update 21. And that's a pretty solid number, right? But if you do the math, that's a little over like 5 updates a year, which anyone can tell you is not a great amount. 5 updates per year is kind of low. But the main thing ABA has going for it is that it has a huge roster of characters to pick from. So most people can find a character they really like, but at the same time, what kind of takes away from the quantity of characters is the low quality each one of them has. It makes sense they can crank out so many of these characters because you don't really have to work on them too much when this is the standard you've set for yourself. Now let's pivot over to Anime Showdown, right? So far, throughout their development, they've had a pretty solid alpha stage. I played during that. It was pretty good. And with the free release, they added way more stuff, right? A whopping 9 new characters with great models, VFX, animations, and cutscenes, all of which was inside one update. Now, I know what you might be thinking, right? Oh, but Mr. the Edgy, ABA has 136 characters. 9 characters is nothing in comparison to that. And while that is true, right, 136 is a ridiculous amount of characters for any game to have, right? But notice my wording, right? I said they added 9 characters with great models, great VFX, great animations, and great cutscenes, right? Going off those specifications, that's 9 more than ABA has in their entire roster. I might be trolling just a little bit, but, before the ABA glazers pull up into my comments, let me ask you something, right? What does right-clicking do in pretty much any Roblox fighting game made in this century? Like a heavy punch or a guard break of some sort, right? Doesn't almost every game of this genre or similar genres have something at least remotely similar to that mechanic? Doesn't that just make sense to have? Oh, what about ABA though? What happens if you right click in ABA? Oh, absolutely nothing. The right click doesn't have a function in the game. When you right click, nothing happens. In this way, ABA shares a striking resemblance to the game Minesweeper because just like it fails to utilize both sides of my goddamn mouse. How hard is it to add a guard break if someone just holds guard? They are immune to damn near every move in the game. Yes, there are skills in the game with guard breaking properties, but that should be part of every character's base kit. Every one of them. When your game has less checks and balances built into it than rock, paper, scissors, I'm inclined to question it at least a little bit.
Not even lost. I just gotta stretch out past these trees and see where we're at. Dang, it's all misty. It's kinda nice up here though.
With that being said though, you guys have seen my history, you know I love to glaze, and today I just have to glaze Anime Showdown a little bit more than ABA today. And I just believe it's the better game. Overall, it's better in like almost every single way. With that being said though, if you guys would like to argue with me in the comments, you already know I'm going to respond to every single comment in my comment section. I always do. With that being said though, that's all I've got. Have a good one.